Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest today is George, aka Gio Epe. Woo! George has been watching forever, and we so appreciate that. And if you guys want to be house guests today, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, we got mad stuff to talk about. The feeds were down for a really long time yesterday because they were doing this like have-not selection. It wasn't a competition. It was like a friggin' Hunger Games selection. I feel like they've done this before, but this time was freaking savage AF. We'll get there. So Big Brother gave all the house guests a certain number of tokens, which I believe were actually like supposed to be slop cookies or something. And basically you put those tokens in the containers of whoever you want to be a have-not for the week. So you could be like, I'm putting all of my tokens in this person's container, or like 3 for this person, 2 for this person, 4 for this person, whatever you want to do. Okay, so you would think like the people with the most slop cookies are have-nots for the week. But no, it's April Fools, big time. The have-nots were the house guests with the least tokens. That sucks! Alright, so that aside, Big Brother also showed them footage of the selection to the whole house. So, like, everybody saw what everybody else, not only who they voted for, but also what they were saying. So, just to, like, add some salt to that wound, beforehand, you know how they have, like, a little card with the instructions on it before they start anything like this? On the card, it was like, oh, be outspoken, have fun with it, you know? Make it a show. So, people were pissed. But before we get into that, the have-nots this week are Bruno, Emily, William, and Demetres. That sucks. They've all been have-nots before already, and Bruno, William, and Demetres were just have-nots last week, which is why they didn't get a lot of people voting for them, because they were like, well, we're not going to do that to you 2 weeks in a row. Woo, that sucks. So let's unpack this a little bit, because there's a lot going on here that has to do with this have-not thing. Bruno was pissed. He was going on this rant about how he came back to play the game, not deal with stupid effing gimmicks. Oh, shit! So, I mean, he got screwed by a twist last season, and now he's, like, freaking out. Honestly, I think he is blowing it out of proportion a bit, but I think it's seeming a lot bigger in his mind. So, like, a lot of people were feeling exposed, but he was livid. He's like, I'm not giving them anything else. I'm just gonna sit on the couch and keep my mouth shut. So he's not just upset about being a have-not 2 weeks in a row. I think he's more upset that he was in really good with a lot of people like Jackie, who he was working on, and he feels like he may have lost Jackie now because he did put a few tokens in her container, and she saw that. So he's saying to Kevin, like, I put tokens in different people's containers because I wanted to make it like the most explosive have-not room possible with like Jackie, Karen, Gary, etc. So he wanted like, you know, an explosion in there. But he was trying to get in with Jackie, and now he's worried that he blew that. Honestly, Jackie's got bigger fish to fry. Again, I think he's blowing it out of proportion. But Kevin's like, yeah, did you notice that Gary gave me like 9 tokens? I guess I don't have to pretend with him anymore, right? Woo! They're also annoyed that Gary had the most votes, yet he's not on slop. He had like 48 slop cookies in his container, but not on slop. So, Netta, on the other hand, she's all good because she had a feeling that Big Brother would be doing something like this, so she didn't really say anything sassy or whatever, and I think she gave most of her tokens to Gary. So, it pays off to know the game, right? Gary was another one. He was talking to Karen, and he was like, I had a feeling something like that would happen because they specifically said, like, work it out loud. When they say out loud, it's probably not going to be good for you. So, he said that he gave the edited version. You know, there were still some jabs in there, but it wasn't the director's cut. So, Karen was like, well, we know that we're effed now because the both of them got a lot of people trying to put them on slop, and Gary's just like, I love it. I'm going to make feasts all week. You know, let's enjoy this. So then they start talking about the vote this week, and Gary's hoping, like, since it's backwards week, maybe whoever's evicted is actually going to stay. That would be a really huge twist. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I'm like 99% sure they're not going to do that, but If it's Gary being evicted, maybe they'll be like, shit, we can't. We can't. And they'll keep him. So Gary's like, should I campaign or should I just like put all my eggs in that backwards week basket and hope that like maybe they do vote me out and I'm not leaving? So Karen's like, I don't know, screw them all. Then they had this real wicked moment, like the because I knew you, I've changed for the better kind of thing. I couldn't think of the words for a second. But they talk about how happy they are that they met each other. And they got a little bit emotional and they're like, even if like nothing else comes out of this, I'm just happy to know you. Karen, you're such a wonderful woman. And Gary, you're so great. And Karen was basically like F for everyone else. And I think she was calling them like pukes and like all those other pukes. Karen was really going off yesterday. Let's talk about Jackie. She was really upset. She was crying and stuff. Apparently, Eika said some mean things about her during the whole have-not thing. And later on, she was walking by Eika and William while they were chatting. And Eika was like, William, you know who I wanted on Slop. And she said it loud enough so that Jackie could hear. So Jackie's just like, well, shit, I know who's coming after me now. And like, she doesn't have to be so mean about it. But Eika's got her own stuff going on. She is freaking pissed at Dimitri's. Last night, or the night before, they were freaking making out under the covers. And now, she does not want to talk to him. She doesn't even want to look at him. So, apparently, during the have-not selection, Dimitri's was, like, going through his selections. And he was about to give Eika some tokens. And he was like, yeah, I like to see her miserable and angry, but I also like sharing a bed with her. So he didn't end up giving her any tokens, but like, oh shit, I can't believe he said that. That was such like a frat boy little comment. And when Eika heard that, I bet there was like steam coming out of her ears. She does not want to look dumb in front of Canada. We know that Eika is skeptical about showmances. She's talked a lot of crap about them on Twitter, which is why it was so shocking that she was actually getting involved with Dimitri's. And then she felt really stupid when he said something like that behind her back. So she was talking about it with Dre. And she's like, I knew this was going to happen. And Dre was like, yeah, it was really disrespectful of him to say, but he was probably just like not thinking and like joking around. And then Dre tells her to stop being Gary because she was taking it too far. And she's like, Gary, get out of this body. That was really funny. But then Gary and Emily, Gary is not going to put his game chat on hold just because of this have-not thing. So he was talking to Emily in the storage room, trying to clear some stuff up. And Emily's like, oh, you probably just got so many tokens because it would be really entertaining to see you on Slop. And Gary's like, but not for you to live with, so watch what you're doing. So they were talking about that for a bit, and then like out of nowhere, Gary busts out, I didn't campaign for Cass last week, so if that's why I'm going home, you guys are idiots. So Emily's like, well, honestly, like I voted to nominate you because everybody told me that you were targeting me and Dylan, so like, of course I'm going to try and get rid of you. So Gary's like, I never told anyone that. They must have assumed. I actually heard that you were coming after me, and like there was this weirdness between us, and Emily's like, no, we were never targeting you either. So they kind of like clear things up, but who knows if that's actually for real or not. I don't know. So then Eika and Netta were chatting in the pink room, and Netta's like, you should talk to Dimitri's. He's walking around this house like a friggin' sad puppy right now. He really was. He was just like, for hours, just staring into space like. So Eika's like, no, I'm not talking to him. And Netta's trying to tell her it was just a joke. Like, don't let this spoil everything. She's trying to push them back together. And even though Netta knows that Eika and Dimitri's are kind of like, well, definitely playing both sides, and they had all that drama with the nomination vote this week, Netta's telling her that she's going to try and get Dylan and Emily to target William and Dre instead of Eika and Dimitri's. And she's like, look at how great it is that I'm doing this for you. But we know that Netta is doing this because William and Dre are more of a threat to her than Eika and Dimitri's. Duh. So her plan is to tell Emily and Dylan that Eika is targeting Jackie. So, like, why would you want to take her out when she can take out Jackie for you? Alright, and it definitely helped that Eika and Jackie are having this drama right now because it's only going to prove that more. So Gary was whispering with Eika in the bathroom, and he's like, look, I want to tell you this as a friend. Like, this is not a game thing. I know this is just the tip of the iceberg for you with, like, pettiness and stuff, but you should really turn down the shade with Jackie because she can't handle it. He tells Eika that Jackie's, like, going around the house and crying that Eika's so mean and, like, this is going to be on YouTube forever and everybody's going to laugh at her. And he tells her basically she's trying to drag your name through the mud throughout the whole house. And he's like, I'm just letting you know because I don't want you to get to a certain point and be like, well, nobody warned me. So this is like him telling her. And Eika's just like, I don't care. I haven't done anything. Ah! Alright, so late last night, Demetres is asking Eika if they can talk. I think he tried earlier and she was like, no. And again, she said no, but this time he sits down and starts talking anyway. She's just sitting there sipping on her freaking Capri Sun. So Demetres is like, look, I'm really sorry about what I said. I know it was disrespectful. It was just supposed to be a joke. And Eika's like, you're playing me and I'm going to look stupid in front of all of Canada. And Demetres is like, no, it's not. It wasn't meant to be like that. And he says that he would have told her what he said anyway, even if Canada hadn't, if Big Brother hadn't shown it to them. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And Eika's like, I don't believe you. You wouldn't have told me, blah, blah, blah. And Demetres is like, what am I going to do? I need you in here. Like, you're my number one. And Eika is just not having it. And he's like, I don't care about the slop or the have-not room. I'm just upset that I hurt you. And Eika's just like, alright, so today they had the HOH competition. Everything's like all friggin' messed up this week. So everyone except for Gary, Dre, and Netta were competing. And when the feeds came back, we found out that Demetres won HOH, which means he will be casting the sole vote to evict this week. It's going to be either Gary or Dre. Right now, it's looking like Gary, but you never know what could happen. But the big question for me now is, will Eika forgive Demetres now that he's the HOH? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. How freaking crazy was that have-not thing? Woo! Brutal, Big Brother Canada. Brutal. So, until tomorrow, much love.